What's up YouTube? It's your girl Kadi and I'm back with another video. Today I want to talk to y'all about how to open salon suites. If you are new to my channel, my name is Kaylee, or aka Kadi, aka the girlie's favorite lash instructor, period. If you are returning to my channel, hey girl, hey. So let's get right into it because it's lock-in season. Last year I locked in and I got 2 commercial properties, and honestly that was the best decision that I have ever made. I am able to make passive income by charging weekly rent to my tenants, period. I have my handy dandy notebook. That's why I keep looking down, because I didn't want to miss any points. I didn't want to miss anything that the girlies need to know, okay? If you want a full in-depth step-by-step guide on how to get salon suites, here's my ebook right here that you can purchase. I'll give you the discount code right here to get your ebook for $25, period. Okay, so just get into it. All right, so boom, the first thing you want to do is have funding, okay? I recommend having at least $20,000 to start. If you can get business credit, that's even better. Me personally, I did not use business credit. I used cash savings, which I highly don't recommend, but it comes with its pros and cons. You know, if you use cash, it's like that's it, you've already made the purchase. I feel like once you use credit, it's like you've made the purchase, but now you have to worry about paying it back. You know what I'm saying? So it's really up to you. Me personally, my credit is not the best. I'm working on it though. So I did use my cash money. So whatever, I highly recommend having at least $20,000, and that's just on the low end, okay? That's just on the very, very low end, because it gets very expensive to get this thing going. So next step, after you have your money together, definitely find a location. So I highly recommend finding a space that is in a very busy area, or like in the city, or you know, somewhere where you have a lot of entrepreneurs or people who have their own business or want their own business or whatever. I made the mistake on my first suite, and I kind of got my suite in the outskirts of the city, and I was still able to fill them, but I did have a harder time filling them because they were on the outskirts. However, my second location is in Center City, and I was able to fill my suites within a month. So yeah, I was able to see, you know, the best of both worlds. And if I were giving someone advice, I would just recommend them to get a space in the city to start out, just to kind of reduce the stress factor. What type of location? I highly recommend getting an office space. Office spaces are just easier startup, and it takes less cost to get it up and running. Even when you do renovations, it takes less money to do renovations. So if you are looking for something to start like ASAP, highly recommend just getting a office space and going from there. As far as like how many rooms I recommend and all those things, this information will be in my ebook, which I have listed right here, and the discount code right here, and of course the link is in the description box. Okay, so boom, you got your funding. Now you found your space. Okay, say you found your space, and I also give tips on where to find your space or where to look in my ebook. Okay, so what is the lesson for today? Grab that ebook. Okay. Anyways, so step number 3, I would say, is negotiate your rent. So okay, boom, you found the space, you told the landlord, hey, I love this space, I want to utilize it, whatever the case may be. Before you sign that lease, you need to negotiate at least 3 months free of rent. Why? Because you're gonna renovate, and you don't want to get into a space that is still not renovated, still don't have any tenants, and you're having to pay for it every month. That's just gonna cut into your budget, and it's also just stressful because you're like, damn, I have to worry about filling these rooms, and the place is not even done, and I still have to pay for a place that's not even done, you know? So highly recommend negotiating at least 3 months free of rent. that'll save you a world of stress and trouble, and gives you a little bit of breathing room to kind of get your shit together when it comes to, you know, what you want to do, how you want to design it, how you want to, you know, set your place up. So negotiate at least 3 months free for renovations. Okay, so boom, now it's time to renovate. So step 4 is renovations. So you have to understand the difference between labor and material when it comes to renovations. Those are 2 different costs. So when you're looking for a contractor, always negotiate, because the contractors are 9 times out of 10 going to give you a price for the labor, and the labor is just the work that they have to put in. What they're putting in is the material, which is a whole different ball game. So let me just quickly give you the rundown. So like I said, shop around when it comes to contractors. Have them come out, look at the space, tell them what your vision is and everything like that. And then once you know, they give you a quote, don't just take the first person who says a number and run with it, because there may be somebody cheaper who you could work with, and that'll be helpful towards, you know, getting your place up and running at an affordable price. You always want to go with the most affordable route. I mean, I know they'd be like, oh, you know, like quality or whatever the case may be, but let me tell you something. Sometimes the people who are the most expensive are not the best quality. So don't let the price fool you because somebody charged you or quoted you $10,000 versus somebody who quoted you $7,000. That doesn't mean that the person who charges $7,000 can't do the same thing or maybe even better than the person who charges $10,000. Some people are just greedy, and a lot of these contractors are greedy. So you want to make sure you have your negotiating cape on, because you're gonna need it. Like, you got to start talking numbers. If somebody say, okay, let me do it for $7,000. Can you do it for 5? Can you do it for 6? You know what I'm saying? Talk. Don't just agree and be like, okay, fine. No, because they just gonna tell you anything. So yeah, negotiate, shop around, and settle on a price that feels right for you. So now when it comes to the materials now, so the materials is the stuff, your flooring, your paint, your doors, your shit, everything that goes into it. Those are very expensive. That's gonna be between the labor and the materials. Both of those costs are the most expensive things that you have to pay for, because especially depending on how nice you want to go and how big your space is, how many rooms you have to renovate. Like, there's so much that comes into it, and the bigger your space is, the more you're paying on materials. The fancier your place is, the more you're paying on materials. It ain't cheap. So me personally, on my first space, because I was still new to it, I cut a lot of corners. And when I say cut corners, I mean, like, you know, instead of me changing out the doors, I just painted them. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, whatever you can keep it, is what I'm saying. Like, if you don't have to switch it out, then don't. You know, like, especially for your first property, you know, it depends on the type of person you are. Me personally, I feel like everything don't have to be perfect. And then the location that I'm in is like, I don't really have that much competition, so my stuff is able to stand out and be like, oh, that's so nice. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a more like upscale area, say like Atlanta or Houston or something, then I would get it if you want to, you know, go all out for your first space. But especially when you're just like getting your feet wet into it, I wouldn't really suggest going all out, because like sometimes you could be way in over your head. You don't want to spend too much money on materials of stuff. And when I say materials, I mean like shit, if you want chandeliers, like all of this goes into materials. Your different flooring, different color paint, chandeliers, doors. Like in my new space, I just got glass doors, like, you know, so like my second location was kind of like a step up from my first location, you know what I'm saying? But they both T, so it really don't matter. So yeah, so after the renovations has gone on, you have your 3 months free. So you're just kind of, you know, going through the renovations. And good thing, you know, like I said, make sure you negotiate for 3 months free, because imagine you're paying for the rent and the renovations. That's gonna be a lot of strain on you. I don't know if you Rockefeller, but it's a lot. So I highly recommend that you make sure, if you cannot get at least 3 months free, do not sign that lease. I would say don't sign that lease, because like I just broke it down to you, you're still paying for materials ongoing for the renovations. You still have to pay for the labor. That's a whole separate price. On top of paying rent, that's too much. That's too much. So negotiate, even negotiate with the landlord. That's what I did. If the landlord say the rent is $2,000, hey, can we do $1,800? Can we do $1,500? Negotiate. Because honestly, a lot of people have to realize these landlords need you. Their properties have just been sitting 9 times out of 10, especially if it's like this old ass, ugly ass office space. And nobody was checking for that. So I'm doing you a favor by even coming over here. Not only am I paying you for the space, but I'm renovating, adding value to your space. Yeah, make sure you negotiate. Both of my landlords, we negotiated. Trust. So yeah. All right. So yeah, now you got them the process. So now it's time to fill the spaces. So filling the spaces is second to the most stressful process. The first one is renovations. The second is filling the spaces, because you're going to get a lot of time wasters. You're going to get a lot of people who can't even freaking afford the place. Definitely take your time when it comes to vetting tenants. You want to make sure that you have great tenants in there, good rapport with them, good communication with them. You want to make sure that they're not problematic. Like I must say right now in my suites, both of my locations, I like the tenants that I have. They're so unproblematic. They pay on time. I don't have no problems with them. I honestly hardly even talk to them. And that's another thing. When it comes to your tenants, don't try to be homegirls with your tenants. Like that's just the fastest way for the space to become unprofessional very quickly. Me personally, I don't work in my suites, so I don't have to see them on a day-to-day basis. So that also helps with not building a personal relationship with them. And I think it's just better, honestly, because, you know, once you start getting too personal with them, they start feeling like you their friend, and then they start feeling like they could just do whatever, or not following the rules, not paying their rent. You know, you don't want that. You want to make sure you maintain a professional environment and a professional relationship. So when you put that late fee on, you don't got to hear none of this, because they know already that you get down, you don't play. Me personally, like, I'm not a strict landlord, but like I'm big on communication. I'll tell my tenants like, hey, if you're gonna be late on your rent, just let me know. If you don't let me know, I'm gonna give you that late fee. But if you text me and be like, hey girl, such and such came up, you don't even have to give me an explanation. I really don't care. If you, not to make it sound like that, but I don't, I'm being honest, you don't even have to give me an explanation. Just be like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to pay your rent this week, or, you know, I'll pay it next week. I'll be like, okay, cool, I'm not gonna give you no late fee. But if you just going all willy-nilly not paying the rent, oh baby, you're gonna wake up to that $50 late fee immediately. So anywho, that is my tips, or my step-by-step guide on how to open salon suites. Like I said, have funding at least $20K. Find a location, preferably a good location, preferably a already made location such as an office space. Negotiate free rent for the first 3 months for renovations. Find you a good contractor, one that's not gonna run off, one that is reputable and affordable, and then fill your suites and just learn how to be a landlord, and just like, don't be their friend. Be cool, be friendly, be nice, be cordial, but that they're not your friends. Never mix business and friendship. So with that being said, go ahead and shop my ebook first of all, because like I said, the ebook gonna have all the tea, all the full rundown. Like I said, where to find a space, how many rooms I recommend, how much you should price your suites. Like literally everything is going to be in my ebook, so make sure you shop that ebook, okay? Anywho, thank y'all so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed my video. Please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to your girl. Bye.